Yeah, that's okay. Just open it up. That's fine. We're just going to mess with it. We're not going to, I mean, you could say, if you want to, you could save that file as, your own in your My Documents if you want. That's fine. I don't know how far we're going to get into this. Not very far. What's that? The monitor is backwards. Oh no. We'll have to put a keynote for that. Install monitor backwards because this family is whack, right? Okay. All right. So if you've got it where you should have it. Okay, no, get out of there. All right. Yeah, there's nothing interesting in this one. So you should have, watch out. You should have the I don't know, old, do you guys remember this? Revit demo, I don't know, whatever it is, Rev demo 7 or something like that. And then you should also have, and pull this over here for the video, you should be in the advanced Revit book on page 68. All right. Some of this I'm just going to kind of roll through and show you, and then some of it I'm going to have you do along with me. For example, let's talk about these keynotes. What they basically are, sorry, I'm going to pull this over here. What they basically are is they are, give it numbers, combination of numbers and letters that identify something. And then we have almost like a schedule over here off to the side that describes what that number is. So in this case, just view this, make it a little bit bigger. In this case, this 201 is this 5-inch by 1.25 inch hardwood varnish finish, right? And then this 204 is this carriage bolt, and this 203 is this wedge anchor, etc. These numbers take a lot less space on the drawing. And I'm going to show you how we're going to cut down on our repetition, because we do the same thing over and over again, like a 2x6, right? How many times do we do a 2x6, right? We want to do that over and over and over again. So this keynoting is the way they do it so that there's not that redundancy, and also allows more room on the drawing to identify things. So that's basically the game. Okay. And you're going to see when you guys go into the profession that they keynote the crap out of drawings, because it's just the way they do it. That's the way they annotate it instead of a lot of text. Okay. All right. So let me show you what the one in the box, the file, looks like. I'm just going to show you this. You don't have to like memorize it or anything. Labs Brown, read only. Again, you don't have to do this. I'm just going to show you. So there's a file, and I think the one that's defaulting is the 2004 one. It's this keynote file. And what it is, it's basically a series of numbers that identify something. So for example, I don't know, I'm just going to use this one as an example right here. Maintain existing utilities in service, whatever that means. Maybe it's going to be an improvement, and they're going to remove some bricks. Okay. And then it goes on and on and on and on and on. You guys remember rebar? We did that one, right? So they do have kind of a standardized keynote file, and that's what this is. They're trying to push it to the industry, but the industry is not having it. The people, the architects, all want to do their own. Bryce? Yeah, thank you. They all want to do their own. And I haven't been to a firm yet who's used this file. They all want to know about it, and they all want to look at it, but they all want to make their own. And you guys are going to do the same, because this file is crazy. It's really big, and it has so much stuff in it, it would just make your head hurt. I'm just going to drag this down because I could be doing this all day long. And they have categories. Let me just show you the categories first. That's what the main thing I want to show you here. Existing conditions. If you ACE people, you guys know what that means now. Let's see. Then you get into your concrete. You guys may remember that folder we went into when we put in like the anchor bolts and stuff like that. your reinforcing steel. This is category 3. You can see how there's just a whole bunch of stuff. And then category 4 is masonry. And there's a whole bunch of stuff. Category 5, metals. There's your anchor bolts and all that stuff in there. And do you guys remember that? What was it? 7/8 anchor bolt, something like that. There it is. And so it goes. There's all kinds of steel in there. These are L. You'll learn about that next year. C channel, all kinds of structural steel stuff in there. Holy crap, there's a lot. So this file is big. And so the professionals are just like, I don't even want to try to find the stuff in there. It's just hard to find it because the file is just too big, right? There's just too many things. It's like loading every family you've ever had in your life in your model and then trying to find stuff. Well, it would be fine if you had all the stuff, but trying to find it if you loaded everything would be really not pleasant. And that's what everybody seems to find here. Wood and plastic, and it goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. This big old monster, holy crap file. They have different divisions depending on what you're doing. Okay, we're not going to do that. The Revit defaults to this file, and we're going to do our own. Okay, so just kind of take that in. Let's see. So I just showed you the Keynote file and what it is, how unpleasant it is, but they have these divisions and subdivisions and stuff in there, and it looks crazy like that again, like I just showed you. And on and on and on. Okay, so those of you who know Nick from ACE, one of our mentors, he gave me this file when I was working with him at HMC. And what they do is they start off with this, just this really simple little template, and then they build it to the project. So it's just almost like a brand new family with nothing in it. And then we're just going to build it from scratch, but with the basic divisions already set, and we're going to do our own stuff. Now, if I were you, as I do this, I would keep this Keynote file forever and ever and ever. You can use it over and over and over. Next class, you can take it to college, you can take it to the profession, and you can just basically build this thing. Now, you don't want it to be the behemoth that you saw a couple of minutes ago, because that's already exists, but nobody, like I said, nobody wants that one, even though that's the quote industry standard. We're going to make our own. All right. And there's some rules on it. I'm just showing you this part right here. We'll talk about this when we make it. And it's going to talk about, the rules. All right. So I'm having you open up this file. All right. So I need you to open up that file I just showed you, this one right here. And we're going to do this. Could you put that on page in your book? Could you do this on page 71, I guess? So go ahead and put your book on page 71. Whoops. That's not what I want to do. And I'd like you to open this text file. Go to Santiago, Labs, Brown, Read Only. Guess what file? That's right, book. Now, the file I want you to do is this one right here. I renamed it from HMC Keynotes, okay? This is going to be yours. So I'm going to have you right-click and copy. You're going to go to your documents. You're going to go to your folder, your document folder. And I'm just going to right click and paste. And then I'd like you just to change this to your name. Just like that. Got it? And I'd like you to just kind of open it up. And it's going to open up just like that, just a little text file. It's really simple. The most basic text file. Have you ever seen these before? It's like Microsoft Word on steroids, right? The other way around. It's like the most simple, basic version of it, right? So go and open up that file, copy it, and then paste it into your My Documents, rename it, and open it. Good morning. Good morning. All right, you guys up? So this is my architecture design class, and they are learning how to do what's called keynoting, which is what they do in the profession. All right, are you ready? So we're basically going to do exactly what's here. We're going to set this thing up where we're going to, this looks very similar to you guys, right? You guys see this before, right? Whoops, you guys don't see what I'm seeing. Huh, let me try that again. Okay, how about that? So we're going to set this up exactly the way this is. We're going to go to division 6, which is wooden plastics. Y'all have seen this note before, correct? On the wall section, something like that. And then the treated sill plate on the wall section, right? Look for. Okay, one sec. Peyton's screen is not cooperating. I have a lot of things going on here. That's probably why it's acting up. Let me try that again, Peyton. Is it just yours? Yeah, look at your neighbors. I got a lot of programs open. Okay, so that's really weird. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We are going to take this. Now, here's the way we do it. We can take this. Watch what I'm doing here, and we're gonna right click and copy. Hit enter, and then Control V. And then what I want you to do is add one, just like that. Once you do that, then what we're going to do is we're going to change the first one. So we just want to have extras. So this format stays the same. You have to have the format right where it's the number. That's the one that's going to go on the sheet. There's a tab, and then what you're going to do, and then the division. I know it's really funky. It's just the way it's been. They've been doing this for like the last 15 years. So the text is going to go something like this. What does it say? 2 by 6, right? So this is going to be somewhere in the wall, right? At 24 inches on center. And then width, and then you've got your R19 bats, right? Your insulation. Make sure you guys capitalize, all right? Just like that. And then you're going to save it. Let's do one more. So I've got my next one here. Now I'm going to do it on 2. Now, as long as I have one extra, I'm fine. But I like keeping a couple in the back pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and copy. Control V. That way we've got the format. So when you do the next one, you're always good. And I'm going to make that a 4. If you don't, it yells at you. And then the next one here we're going to do is the 2 by 6, the treated sill plate. Again, that should sound familiar to you. Like so. And we're going to save it. Like so. Got it? So we're going to open up that, just open up the text document. Go to division 6. Again, I like copying the first, one of the rows and just kind of pasting it down below just so you have extras. And then the format sticks. It's a lot. It keeps you making mistakes, because if you don't do the format, it gets really angry with you. I know, it's like, who's the adult in this room? All right, thank you. Okay. This will be for you, Matt, when we get it, when you get a free moment. Have a good morning, you guys. No, it's at teacher's convenience, so it's going to be whenever it's a good time. There'll be a time when I turn you guys loose, and then you can go then. All right, good. You could just keep the file open. You don't have to close that one once you've opened it. I usually just minimize it because you're going to go back and forth with it and stuff. Anyone have any trouble getting that first keynote in? So your keynote file is off and running. Okay. I'm just going to minimize mine here. So I'm just going to point to a couple of things. I'm just going to take that piece of furniture right there. If I go to edit type, it has a place for keynote. Right now, there's nothing there. This window, edit type, has a place for keynote. Is there anything there? Nope. I don't know. Let's see what else we have. We have that monitor right there, a little TV that's going the wrong way. Edit type. And is there a place for keynote? Notice that they all have places for keynotes. So these are called element keynotes. So, and pretty much every element, has a called a placeholder for that keynote. And again, sometimes there'll be data in there and sometimes there won't, depending on what kind of family you bring in. And that's called an element keynote. This is an element, right? It's a door or whatever. That was a piece of furniture, windows. Do walls have keynotes? What's the answer? Absolutely. It's an element. Does a car have a keynote? Get the idea, right? Now, what won't have keynotes is things like, a section, because it's not really an element, right? So your objects, floors, walls, all that stuff has it, right? There's another thing that has keynotes. Watch this. Materials. If you go to materials and you go to keynote, so we can also keynote our materials, our paints, our flooring, our countertops, all that stuff. So if you apply a material to it, then we can also keynote that material. So a countertop could in theory have two keynotes. It could have one for the countertop, which is the countertop, the element. You could also have one for the material. Does that make sense? Because the material's on, it's part of the countertop. Okay. And then the last one we can have is basically it's called the user keynote, which I'll show you. All right. So our first play here is we have to tell Revit where the keynote is. Watch this. If I try to keynote this, just watch this part. Annotate, keynote. I'm just going to do a user keynote here. Now watch this. It's going to go. You remember that file? It's the one I showed you earlier, right? And it's pointing to that evil file that we don't want to use. All right. So I need you to change yours because we don't want to point to the evil file. We want to point to ours. Okay. So let's do this. I'm going to cancel that. Delete. Let's do this. Let's go annotate, keynote, and then keynote settings. And what I want you to do, it's going to say, about the 2004 file. It's having trouble finding it. Remember the OOTB? I kind of all the stuff there. That's why it's kind of having trouble finding it by default. We are going to point to a different place. Browse. And we're going to point to where? Documents. Where did you save your stuff? Where did you save that that text file that you just created, right? And there it is. There's mine right there. So I need you to point to that spot. I need you to put this in absolute. I think it's going to be on relative. I need you to be on absolute and by keynote. Okay. I think about that documented right there. See it on the side there. So absolute and keynote, and then hit OK. Nothing happens. It's just, you'll see. So what's going to happen is now when we go to keynote it, let's just say user keynote, let's just say, now it's going to go, ooh, I have to reload. That's fine. I'll come back to that. Go ahead and do that. because I've got something else I have to show you. All right, go ahead. Again, I'm on page, was it page 72? Yeah, on the top, browse, hit browse, and then point to wherever you saved that text file. Again, on page, keep forgetting what page it was, 72. All right. Everyone get in okay? Got that set? If I don't see Miss America waves, I'm assuming everything is good. Okay. All right. You're going to browse and you're going to go to your documents. And let's see, where did you save your text file in ArcDesign? In Revit? It's on the OneDrive. If you want to do it on the OneDrive, do it on the OneDrive, but that's not the OneDrive. This is the X drive. Or your documents, rather. You need to go to your OneDrive if that's where you put it. Got it? Okay. Anybody else having trouble with it? Again, your OneDrive is fine. It's just as long as you know where the file is and you can kind of open it up and close it and open it up. All right. Let's open up. I'm on the floor plan here. Let's just open up this little section here on the kind of that east wall there. And, it looks something like this. So I'd like you to add this is actually a 2x6 wall here. Let me just show you what it looks like here. It's just a 6-inch metal stud in here, right? It's not a 2x4, it's not a 5.5, it's just a straight metal stud. They don't round off like in wood. So a 2x6 is actually a 2x6 in metal. All right. So what I want you to do is it's going to be a little weird looking, but I'd like you to bring in a 2x6 metal stud. It goes something like this. Detail component, so component, detail component, load family. And let's see, let's go to the English Imperial and detail items, sorry. And then I've given you where it is here because I know it's kind of gnarly. We're going to go to, let's see, where's it at? Detail items, division 5 metals. And then the structural metal studs framing. Structural metal studs framing. And then we're going to get the channel studs section. I'm probably going to go into a type catalog here. Oh, no, it's right there. So looks like they brought in a couple of different ones there. Which one do we want? The 6. Now, when it comes in kind of weird like that because it's metal. So it doesn't look like the 2x4. And you'll notice that it drops right in. Now, it's really hard to see, obviously. You can see that. See how hard it is to see? But that's okay. So it looks something like that, right? So far, so good. Let's bring it in first, and then we'll talk about this part here. Then go to page 74 and just wait for me. It's the section view on that east wall. Go back to your floor plan, Noah. Why don't you close your model? Your building, because I'm in a different file. There, yeah, that's what I want you to be in. So go to the section view on the east wall. Yeah. Again, directions on the bottom of page 73. Yeah, you can save that. Print out a bad idea. We're not going to be on it for very long. I'm showing you the process, and then you're going to apply it to yours. You save it in your My Documents. Yep. Okay, let's do this. So I've got this thing in there, right? I'm going to want information in it. Right now, if I pick it and I edit the type, it has information in it, but it's not, it's kind of from that big nasty one. Remember that big nasty one? It's from there. So that one's already tied in because that's a really common thing. All right. So just giving you information there. All right. So if I was to keynote this, watch this. If I was to I'm going to annotate keynote. I'm going to do this as an element keynote. And then I bring my keynote in here. The scale is really big, but like that. You'll notice that it's keynoting to that other file. Does that make sense? Which I don't want. I'm going to undo that. I need to tell Revit that we're going to another place. So I need to reload this. So it knows it's going to that spot. I might have to save this file. Let me just do a save as here. I'm just going to put this on my desktop. We're not going to keep this file, so don't sweat wherever you're putting it. Okay. So again, keynote setting. So we've already pointed to our sample keynotes and we've reloaded it, right? So what I want to do now is I want to keynote this thing. Now, when I keynote it, element keynote, Still pointing there. I understand that. Thank you. Why am I missing that? That's right. Sorry, I got to tuck myself through this. I'm not sure why it's not pointing to mine. I'm going to get out, get back in again. It's there. Oh, la, 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 la. Let's see. Annotate. Keynote. Element keynote. Still pointing to that. Oh, okay, I know why. Because it's the data's already there. That's why. Because it's looking for that data. Okay, so we have to tell it different information. Okay, I got it. All right. So I had to walk myself through that. All right. So we have to do is we have to tell that element that the keynote information is different. Does that make sense? Coming from a different place. All right. So let's do that. Let's go. Let's open up this file and let's put this information in. Let's go ahead and put in 6-inch C channel stud at 24 inches on center. I'm gonna have to type all that in, aren't I? So I'm in number 6. And we're gonna go 6-inch. 6-inch C channel stud. Something like that. All right, I'm going to save this. Yep. Oh, you're right. Copy. Let's put that here. Control V. And then hit a tab. And then take that just completely out, right? It's going to call this. You have to be really careful when you're pasting because you need this this tab, backspace, one tab between the text and the and this number here. Don't ask me why. It's just the format for the way they do it. Okay. Let me try this again. So I'm going to reload I'm going to go into the Keynote settings. I'm going to reload it so it knows that that new data is there. So what I need to do on this one is I need to tell it, hey, you're getting this from another place. Let's see. Do you see it? Oh, that was the part I was missing. All right, do the same thing. Add that text in 0501. And then you have to reload it, save it, and then reload it. And then apply it to the C channel. You're not going to have that too often because there's not very many of them that already have the preloaded stuff in there. Yep. Are you on page 73? Yes. Okay. Detail items. Do you know where to go now? Okay. I'm just giving you some practice because you're going to be applying this to your project. No, just watch the next one. I can't do demos. I can't do the whole demo twice. Okay, what is this? Okay, first off, let's just see. Do you have this going to the right spot? Keynote settings. Is that where your document? Okay, that looks fine. Okay. So you're going to say this one, edit type. It's going to 05. So you haven't updated your file yet, so that's why. So open up the text document. Yeah, keep it open, Noah. No, it's not a Word document. Just open it. You just open it up. Just double click in as a text document. That's weird. Sorry, guys, give me a second. Noah's got a weird one. Is it like that? And open up your yellow folder and put it right here. I just want to see if it's everything or it's just that one file. Yeah, open it up. I probably closed it. Restart your computer. There's something going on with your connectivity. So I'm just going to save this file. File save as project. Just put this on your desktop. That's all we need. Oh, try the yellow folder one more time. Double click. Okay, that's all I need to see. So let's just restart you. So go to the bottom, go start. And then down to power, hit power, and then restart. Probably just lost connectivity to the my documents. Correct. Okay, so watch out. No, just peek at Peyton's there while yours is opening up. Okay, you guys can. That's kind of the opposite now. Well, yeah, there we go. So there was definitely connectivity issues this morning. Okay, so when we go to keynote this, one of two things is going to happen. You're either going to see the text or you're not. Okay. And it depends on whether you've gone into the keynote settings and reloaded the text that you put in just now, because it doesn't know anything about it right now. All it knows is what was there before. So every time you put information into that keynote file, you have to tell Revit you did. And this is the way you do it. You do it with this reload button right here and say, okay, yeah, I've updated that thing. So now you got to look for the new information because we updated it. So reload that and it'll just say that. It'll say, okay, I got it now. So when you do that now, and then we go in and we're going to go ahead and keynote this thing with an element keynote, you're going to see that it comes up and it has your, whatever number you assign to that particular keynote. So I'd like you to just go ahead and keynote that little guy. I know it's kind of big right now because the scale is at 3/16. That's okay. For the purposes of what we're doing right here, that'd be fine. Go ahead. Where this whole demo is going smooth as gravel, huh? Smooth as jagged rocks at the jetty. Yeah. I have to say that we do have a lot of like quirks on this demo, but it's good because when you learn about the quirks, you learn about the quirks and knowing how to troubleshoot them. Okay, watch out. Got it. So yeah, I don't know. It was did you see what I did? I mean, for all computers, Noah, restarting solves like 75% of the problems. In this room, especially because there's a lot of connectivity issues in here. Ask Peyton, right? I couldn't even see mine, right? And I have no idea why. And you'll have to do the same thing at one point because in order to see my demo. But for now, this is fine. Okay. So as we're doing the demo, I'm just going through this because if you ever have, like, what did he do again? And when you leave my class, some of you are not going to be here at one point in your life. You're going to be somewhere else, like in the profession or in school or something like that. And you're doing keynotes and it's like, what did he do again? So we did that, right? And then we reloaded it, right? And you should see this element keynote, but if you didn't reload it, then you didn't see it. When you added the text in after you did something else. Every time you change something in that text document, you have to reload it. Okay. All right. So we just did this. We got the 0501, right? We just created an element keynote. All right. So if we brought in any other 6-inch channel studs, here comes the winning part of this. Let me just go to, I don't know, I'm just going to go somewhere else here. Let me go up here, I guess, and I'll bring in that same detail component. Same C channel, there it is, right? I'm just going to go ahead and just say, put it right here, for example. Let's say it went in here, let's just say, right? Well, instead of copying, we don't have to copy. We just go in there and we keynote it. And when we do, it goes, oh, I know what you are. You're an 0501. But then you're asking yourself, well, what is a 501, right? What is an 0501? All right, so let's do this. I think we already have a sheet on this, correct? I don't think we have this on it though. So this section is section 6. Let's put that section on the wall section sheet. So let's just do it just like this. I don't think it's here, but section 6. That's really small. Let's activate the view and make this a little bigger. Let's make it same scale as the other ones. Make it like 1/2 inch. Okay. And you can see our annotations on there. They look really good, right? Let's go ahead and put that on a sheet. What, that's 602. Just kind of drag it on there so you can see the keynote. I don't really need you to do the top one. Just see the bottom one. Okay. And go. So again, you're just doing a keynote for if you haven't done it yet, but if you have, go ahead and just drag that section 6 on the sheet. Yeah, 1/2 inches a foot should be fine. 3/16 is a little small when you're keynoting because the tags are really big. I think on my notes, I said change it to 1 inch a foot. That's probably a little on the big side. Half inches a foot will fit on the sheet. No, there's no hurry. They're doing like broad stuff, probably just giving you information. So there'll be a time. I'm going to turn the class loose pretty soon on the project, and you can go then. It can only be 5 minutes. I have no idea. All right, we good? Okay. Now that it's on the sheet, I'd just like to do a couple more that were relative to the stuff we were putting in that'll be completely wrong, but that's okay. And I'm going off the demo just a little bit, but that's okay. Let's go back to that section 6. And let's just dump in, I don't know, let's dump in a 2x4, let's just say, or a 2x6. Let's just go in and do annotate, component, detail component. Oh, we don't have one. How we're going to load the family. Let's go get like a 2x6. Okay. So it's, watch where I'm going. Detail items. So I'm going, let me just go backwards. English Imperial. Detail items, wood and plastic, wood framing, nominal cut lumber section. We did this before, right? And this is where you get your 2x6s and stuff like that. So let's just bring in a 2x6. And you can just dump this anywhere. I'm just going to go ahead and just spacebar. It's going to put it somewhere on the wall. It's wrong, obviously. I don't really care about that. All right. So what I want to do is I want to make an element keynote out of this. Now, what happens when I keynote it and I do an element keynote, it's not doing the right one, huh? That's going back to that old file. So that's kind of what happened on the bottom one. Does that make sense? So we need to tell this thing that it's a different keynote. So we're going to go, yeah, no, you're not that. You are. Let's just say that, okay? So we've given it an 0602, right? So now when we keynote it, annotate, keynote, element keynote, we get a keynote. With me? Now we didn't have to restart anything because it was already there, right? We'd already done the work. So go ahead and load in like a 2x6, just kind of plunk it in that wall and then go into it and say, yeah, we got to re-identify you as an 0602 because, we had something there already. Okay. And then you can go ahead and go to annotate and then keynote element, keynote, and keynote that thing. And go. And that 2x4 is what it's under. Annotate, detail component, and then go to detail items. Then you'll notice that the sections kind of make sense. They're kind of tied to what we're doing. All right, watch out. So if you have what you're supposed to have, it should look something like this, right? You've got a couple of keynotes on there, right? So what we do is we create this thing called a keynote legend to identify all the text in there. So I'd like you to do this keynote legend. It's gonna be the easiest schedule in the history of the world. Have we done any schedules yet, like door windows, anything like that? I'm not sure we've done that quite yet in here. So schedules are, they report, stuff that you've got in your model. This one's going to be a real easy one. We're going to go to, let's see, where's it at? It's going to be, this is going to be a legend. So it's going to be view legend. Which one shall I choose? The answer is Keynote legend. So a keynote legend is called keynote legend. That's fine. There's just two values in here and they're both great. They're both what we want. Said, okay, that's it. And so you can see the two things that we have, right? Because we don't have a lot of stuff in here yet, right? But we will. All right. And then what we do is we set this thing under the filter to filter by sheet. What this will do is the keynotes that you have on one sheet, just on that sheet, will show. Not all the keynotes on all your entire project. Only the ones that are on the sheet that you put the keynotes on. Does that make sense? So if you have a floor plan with 35 keynotes and you had a wall section with 10 keynotes, you're not going to see all 45 on both sheets. You'll see 35 on one and 10 on the other. If you don't do that checkbox, then you'll get all of them. Okay. So what's going to happen now is once we've created the legend, you'll see it here. It's a legend. And now if I go to the sheet and I drag the legend onto the sheet, you'll see the two, the two things we have. Obviously, we don't have a lot going right now, but we will. Right? It's going. Now, if I put it on a different sheet, let's say this one, do I have any keynotes on this? So if I bring it in here, it doesn't have anything here. It's just waiting for us to do work. If we don't have any keynotes on the sheet, and we never will, then we wouldn't, there's no reason to put the legend on there. But most sheets will have some kind of keynotes on them. So we generally have the legend on there. And just one legend, just like that. Super easy. So I would like you to do the same thing. I'd like you to go to view, legend, keynote legend, and create that legend. When you do, set it up so that it's showing on one sheet. And I would like you to, make sure it's showing correctly on this one. And if you put it on a different sheet, that you're not getting anything inside of it. And go. Yep. Go to view and then legend. You might want to save that file. I may come back to this a little later. We're going to jump into your file here in a minute, but put a save on there. Again, if I want to fart around with something, maybe I want to come back and mess with that file a little bit. All right, I got one more for you. Sometimes we don't have things that we can actually point to. For example, let me show you one that can't be keynoted to my knowledge. Watch this. Is this an element right here? Make this 5.5. I think this wall is actually 6, 0.6. Would you agree that's an element that should have a keynote on it? Say yes. If I pick it, whoops, if I pick it, do you see anywhere that says keynote? Do you see where it says edit type, how it's grayed out? That's a wah, wah, wah. So it does not have a keynote. But that's an important thing, right? It's like, okay, this is R19 bat insulation or something like that, right? So we have another type of keynote, and it's called a user keynote. And we do these all the time as well, because sometimes, it's just not an element. I mean, it's like knock down that wall is not an element. it's a direction, right? And so it's not really tied to anything. And so we do that all the time. So here's what you have. We're going to do, going to go back into our keynoting. So we're going to go to keynote, but this time we're going to do a user keynote. And I like you to just point at that installation. You'll notice that it's kind of picking it, but not really. And then it's going to point us, to our keynote file. And let's go ahead and pick that off. Let's see. Let's just say right there. Let's just say. And you have something that looks like that. Now, when you do that, that is a user keynote. If I pick this, there's no 0601 attached to it. It's just out there in space. If I took this and I went like this, it's, it's just kind of it's not dumb, but it's not smart either. Now, you do have to pick something to make it happen. So in other words, you can't just put it in space. So go ahead and do that one. Do the user keynote on that wall. Hi. Okay, Miss Matsumoto is looking for him too. So no, there's he's got a pass for her too. Okay, all right, got it. Bye. So let's do this morning. Okay, so you have to watch the video. So give me that. So you're going to go 2 places. So you're going to start. So first to the AP's office, at your pass for that, or that is, and then to the counseling office. Okay, if you have done that, watch out. Yep. Yeah, look like that, right? And if I go to the sheet, it updates, right? And if I go to the other sheet, it's still a wah, right? Because there's nothing there, right? So it's basically just a updating thing, but all the text kind of goes in there, right? Does that make sense? I'm going to have you throw a save on that. Anyone having trouble getting to that spot? Okay, so what we're going to do now is using that concept, we're going to apply that to your model. Okay, you guys got that? Everyone's good, right? Okay, so Mr. Shida, can I show the class this one? Thank you. So let me show you what happens. Watch out. I'm going to use this as a. So agree that this scenario right here isn't correct, right? So Michael, do me a favor. Could you go to the Keynote Legend in the browser? Are we locked up here? It's a Keynote Legend in the browser. Sorry, something's happening on mine here. Hold on. Let me get out and get back in again. The network is obviously jiggly this morning. Sorry, that's on my end. Okay, let me try that again. Sorry. Sorry, Michael, that was not on your end. That was on mine. Okay, I'm gonna try that again. I'm gonna shoot it out. You're looking at Michael on the sheet of screen, right? Okay. So what's happening on his, go to your sheet, Michael, the one that has the extras on it. Was it wall sections? Building section? Go to the building section sheet. Okay. Do you see how he has a Keynote Legend and it has the data in there? So now go to your Keynote Legend. Go ahead, hit the Keynote Legend. It's at the top. Yeah, right up there. Hit the Keynote Legend. Perfect. Okay, now go to Filter Edit. Filter Edit. See it off to the left? And hit the edit button, Michael. I don't know if mine's being. I know. This, yeah. There it goes. Okay. Got it. And check filter by sheet. I can see the lagging. Sorry, I don't know what's going on. Obviously, the network is not good this morning. Okay. Do you guys see that? If that's happening on yours, I need you to check that box. Okay. Sorry, that's, yeah, really slow network. Go ahead if that happened to you. Because I don't want to see every single keynote you did on every single file on a sheet. It's not good for anybody. And then go back and look at the sheets, and you should see the sheet that has the keynotes on it will have the Keynote Legend populated, and the sheet that has the Keynote Legend on it that doesn't have any keynotes won't have any keynotes in it until you put them there. All right, save that, close it. Not the keynote file. Close the foundation drawing there. Huh? It doesn't matter, actually. It doesn't matter. As long as you've got what I need, that's fine. Luke, get off the phone. Okay, so what I'm asking you to do is basically just to close this. Okay, so file close. So you're going to open up your main file like that. So you all have been putting in bathroom stuff, correct? Guess what we're going to be doing. All right. So I'm in this file. So I'm just going to go through the steps. We already did them. I'm going to do them again. Okay. You're going to go to annotate, keynote, settings. And it's going to give you that same evil file. Okay. Because this is another file. So it's still looking at that same evil spot. And we're going to go ahead and browse. I'm going to point to where you put your keynote file. In this case, I put mine in my document and I put it here, and there it is. So every time you have a new project, you have to point to the Keynote file of the company or of the project. And then you're going to set it up to absolute, just like we did on the other one, and hit OK. So now the Keynote file is set and ready to go. Let's do that first. So in your file, I'm sorry, you need what? No, just Keynote Legends, fine. That's what they say. That's the official name of it. All right, we good? Pointing to the right spot? If you're not, give me the Miss America wave so I can see that you're still going. Okay. Now, when you go to work for a firm, one of two things is going to happen. Either going to have a really kind of smart firm that already know how to do this stuff, right? And they're like, they've got it, and you're just going to point to their Keynote file and you're off and running, or it's already done. Or happens a lot. They go, wow, we got this new intern that knows how to use Revit. Oh, wow, do you know how to set up the Keynote file? What are those? You know, we've been doing it with text all these years because we've been using AutoCAD for the next, 15 years. Can you show us how to do it? I'm telling you it's going to happen. Okay. And then you're going to have one of two things. You're going to either be wimpy and go, well, I really don't know how to do it. I was in a long time ago in Mr. Brown's class. Or you can go back to the notes and what did we do again? How we set that thing up again? And then you can do a demo for them. Show them, here's what we do and here's how you do it. It's not that hard. Okay. Watch out. Next, as we get this thing ready, we are going to create a Keynote legend. View, legend, Keynote legend. And like, I think the question came out, is this really the right name? That is absolutely the right name. I guess if you wanted to, you could do this as, the name of the company, not in cap locks, right? Could be that, but really it doesn't matter. All right. And then these two are already there. They're all they're there. It's all beautiful. While I'm here, I'm just going to go to filter and just do that, right? So I know that I've got that correctly. It's going to be by sheet. And I have myself this Keynote legend with nothing in it. And it doesn't matter if there's nothing in it or not. What you're going to do is you're going to go to your floor plan and you're going to find a nice spot for it. I'm just going to drag it on. And I know there's nothing in there. I'm well aware of that, but there will be. Same thing here. I'm just going to take that same Keynote legend. It's not by sheet. Just drag them on anywhere that they possibly could be. For what we're going to be doing, level 1, level 2. Okay. But in theory, now we did all this in kind of dumb text, right? So in theory, we probably should have done keynoting here, but I didn't want to teach you that way. I wanted to teach you both ways. All right. So for right now, we'll just keep it on level 1 and level 2. All right. So go ahead and make that Keynote legend and just do the same thing I did. Make it and then put it on level 1 and level 2 sheet. Kind of like have it ready to go. Then make sure, again, you go to filter and check the sheet button. I'm going to tell you, when you guys do your portfolios and you're showing professionals your work, or you're trying to get a job, or you're trying to get a school, showing them a sheet that's been keynoted by you is going to be your most powerful sheet. Number one, because they do so much of it in the industry. And it's like, wow, this high school kid knows how to freaking keynote. Bam, $20 an hour, because we can have them work and bill them out at 80, and they're making money on you. So this is the easy part, really. It's just a matter. Everyone got that? Okay. I don't see any Miss America waves. All right. So what you're going to do is you are going to find a place for the stuff that's on your floor plans. And what I'm looking for, I want you to keynote the kitchen and the master bathroom. Those are the two I want. We can do the whole house and every single, and the laundry room. All right. So what do I have in here that needs to be keynoted? Everything. All right. So everything from the countertops to the cabinets, to the specialty equipment, to the everything that's in there. So let me just show you how you're going to put it in. And part of it you have to guess a little bit, because the categories can be a little confusing. Let's start with the kitchen. And what do we have in the kitchen? I'm gonna put this over on the other side here. Let's start with this thing right here. What is that? That is a refrigerator. Okay, so so that is, well, what should that be under? Should it be under concrete, masonry, metals, wood, thermal, openings, finishes, specialties, equipment, furnishings, mechanical, fire suppression, electrical? You get the idea here, right? These are the divisions that Nick did at HMC. Now, could we have another division that would make more sense? If there's possibility there. I'm going to put this under specialties. I know it seems like a weird place, but that's where I'm going to put it. Okay. And so we're going to call this something like okay. I should have done that in all caps. And then watch, right click, copy, Control V. All right. And then I'm going to change this to what? 3. So I'm getting it ready. I'm just kind of keeping this format here. It's a discipline thing more than anything else, so that the format stays, because if you mess up the format, then everything doesn't work. Okay. So I've done that. Okay. What else do I have? I'm not going to do all of them right this second. So let's see what's next. How about a range? Probably the same spot, right? So if I have a range, it's going to be the same, come in here, and I'm going to say this is a 30-inch. Okay, just keeping it simple. Right click, copy, Control V, and a number 4. I should probably be saving this as I do my work here, just kind of updating it there. All right, and what else? Let's see. Let's talk a little more. You got the idea of the dishwasher. How about this right here? So what kind of object is that? Some kind of plumbing fixture, right? So if I come back here, do I have a place for that? Do you see a place for that? I don't know if I had plumbing fixtures in here. Do you see plumbing fixtures in there? This is the part I didn't like about his. Let's do this. I don't know if there's a plumbing in there. So check this out. Watch what I'm going to do here. Copy. Control V. Do you see where I'm going with this? I hate those cap locks. Make this a 16. Make this a 16. So basically, I'm just kind of copying the format so I don't mess it up. 16, make sure you change these as well. And then enter. So you have to have a space between them. So I've created a new division called plumbing. So let's go ahead and put that in there. So what would that thing be that I just pointed at? Was like a sink or something like that, a double sink or something like that. So what else do we have in there? We have a faucet, right? So I'm going to go ahead and take this, right click, copy, Control V, make that a 3. And it was a faucet. Let's just say this is a, I don't know, Kohler. I don't know. I'm just going to call it Kohler faucet. I'll keep it simple. This is where you'd put the brand name or whatever you're, speccing in. We'll call it Kohler faucet right now. What else do we have in the plumbing? The what? I think the dishwasher actually would be more under specialties. I think that's looking pretty good for right now. I'm going to go ahead and save it. Just watch. Okay, I'm saving it. I'm going to go to my Keynote settings, and I'm going to reload it. Now, I'm guessing that these elements don't have, they don't have keynotes in them yet, right? Like if I pick on this, I'm going to be really surprised if this is assigned a keynote. It doesn't look like it is, right? See that? There's no keynote in there. So watch this. So we're going to go ahead and watch what happens here. If I go to Keynote element and I pick it, notice it goes to our file now. There wasn't anything there like there was on those, 2x6 metal ones. And we just have to tell it what it is. So what is that thing? Well, it's under specialties, right? And it is a refrigerator. No, it wasn't. It was a range, huh? Whoops. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to, that's not what I wanted. Sorry. I'm going to pick it. I'm going to say, yeah, I made a mistake there. I didn't want you to be that. I'm going to go back and say, nah, you're a range. Okay. Notice it's now 10:02 and the keynote tells you accordingly. So you can move them around if you make a mistake and stuff like that. It's no big deal. If it's pointing to something that's already there, you just have to unpoint it and tell it where it's supposed to be. Let's do a couple of them in the kitchen here. I know we're running a little low on time. Let's get a few of them in. So you got to put them in first. If you're not sure about the categories, ask. Sometimes it's kind of like we did here. Sometimes, the categories that Nick gave me were a little commercial and they might not help us perfectly. Yeah. On the level 1. Yeah, it'll be on the sheet. The keynote legend is on the sheet. And it'll pick up the as the drawings come in, it'll pick up the keynotes that are on there. Luke. I'm sorry. Not yet, because we're not done with them. We're still doing keynotes. So yeah, I'm going to be evaluating those bathrooms keynoted. Well, at least the master anyway. So I guess I'm ending the demo for the video now. So, class is in process of creating a couple of keynotes for the project.